Random. I miss those days, dude. Casual chat, playing WoW, 3:30 in the, well, 20 to 4 in the morning. Figured about the old days. It's over 9,000. What can I say, dude? I've been through a lot in this game. The Upper Blackrock Spire Classic, Leroy, all those fucking Old War raids. Jesus, the Undying, Champion of Old War, Zolaman, the original Zolaman. I've been through a lot in this game, and there's still more adventures to come. What got me into WoW? That's a good question. When I was a kid, I used to always go out adventuring looking for treasure. I would check abandoned buildings, abandoned houses, looking for any kind of loot I could find. And most of the time, I didn't find anything. But there were times where I did find something I did think was treasure, but was just trash in the end. And when it comes to video games, I guess I like finding games that are like that, where I can explore, look for treasure. And then I found RuneScape first, and I loved RuneScape. RuneScape has such a big mysterious. What's the correct words I'm looking for? But had a really great sense of mystery, of adventure to it. It was so mysterious. And this was the early days where not everything could be found by searching on YouTube or Wowhead or whatever we used for RuneScape back in the day. I'd get stuck in that Draenor mansion. I would go back and forth to fucking, what's it called, Caverby maybe? Maybe I find a steel scimitar on the floor and thought, oh my god, if I keep selling all these, I'll be fucking rich, mate. You know, it's just thoughts like that. And then, when I was in high school, I came across WoW, because my friends talked about it. Now, I didn't play WoW, but that's when I became aware of it. Then, jump a couple of years into college, I met two guys who got me into WoW, and I actually bought the game. This was still classic WoW at the time, because it was 2006. And Burning Crusade came out in 2000, I think, or was it 2007? No, 2007. It came out after Christmas. But before then, though, I was playing classic WoW. And I remember making an Orc Hunter. And I thought it was alright. And then I made an Undead Warrior. And I was just completely taken by the world. Because I've gone from RuneScape, where characters are literally just have the animations, the world is just like, it's like looking like Lego in that game, to a big open world where the graphics are pretty decent. And the world was so big, it was just I was just mesmerized by the game. I went around searching every cave for loot, killing monsters for treasure. I loved it. It was just incredible. I was so addicted to WoW when I was in college. I started, well, yeah, kind of gaining weight, and I just completely forgot about finding any form of a girlfriend back then. So I thought, well, I could go find a girlfriend, or I could go home, play WoW, and go check out that cave that we found the other day. Maybe there's a fucking hidden Ashbringer at the end of it. I didn't know what Ashbringer was at the time, but it was something along that thought process. Just like a big, super powerful, ancient, legendary weapon hiding in that cave that no one's ever found. And I would do that every day. I mean, when I was at college, my grades in college weren't the best. I did really well in high school, but when I went to college and started playing WoW, they did kind of start falling off a little bit. I was a pretty smart cookie when I actually used my brain. But I didn't. Oh man, I skipped college so many times to play WoW. Just so I could fucking... I made that undead warrior only reach like level 26 or 27. Because all I would do all day is I'd go into Ashenvale, because I was on the PvP server, and I would just charge at Night Elf Hunters all day, and I'd kill them. I don't know why I kept doing it, because I love open world PvP like that. I love fighting like that. I just love having a brawl with someone. I'm not really interested in like 5v1 people or 10v1 like people do in retail now, because it's just a bit weird. Yeah, I did that so much. And then came Burning Crusade. So my friends who are playing WoW with me now, my real life friends, said to me, let's start a new character on this server. That server was Burning Steps. He made a paladin, I made a shaman. And we journeyed together through Azeroth, and it was just so much fun. We would just stop at random to have a duel. I was playing my Tauren Shaman, and I got a two-handed weapon. I think it was Corpse Maker from Razorfen Crawl. Was it Crawl? Yeah, I think it was Crawl. I enchanted it with Wind Fury, and then we would always duel. And I would always piss myself laughing when suddenly you're just going, oh, you just see your character slowly move his hand because he's got a two-hander, he's like 3.6 attack speed. And then you're just thinking, oh god, I'm about to lose, I'm about to lose. And then suddenly, you just see your character just do a little spaz with his hand. And you just know you got that fucking Wind Fury proc, and you just one-shot. I just one-shot him. Suddenly, you have defeated this person in a duel, and it's just like... I couldn't stop pissing myself laughing while he was just absolutely pissed off. And then we made it to Outland. Well, we did all kinds of things before then. We did so many dungeons together. We'd get into fights in Tanaris. We'd get into fights over loot. We would try and get our other friend to play, but he used to tell us to fuck off because WoW was for losers and things like that. And like, nice. I remember the time we got ninja looted a few times. I remember we played Sunken Temple and he got knocked off the center. No, sorry, he didn't get knocked off. I remember now. So there he was. We're in the center of Sunken Temple. You see all these little green dragons around and the two flying fuckers that circle the place after you've killed the other boss. So naturally, he alt-tabbed for a second while auto-running. Because who doesn't do that in WoW? You're doing something, or you're flying somewhere, you alt-tab. Well, he made a terrible decision to alt-tab at that particular moment. Because he was auto-running right over the hole in the center of the room. And when that happens, oh my god, I just couldn't stop laughing again. He fell through the middle, and the team were pretty pissed at him, but at the same time they couldn't stop laughing because they know he's got to get all the way back now. Oh, that was fucking glorious. And there was also another time where me and my friend were dueling on top of Thousand Needles. He was playing a hunter, and I think this is, I forgot exactly when this was, it might have been Cataclysm, though. But I just got so many memories of this shit. Because the thing is with my friend is, he comes and goes. He can never stick to the game. So what did he do? We were dueling. And he disengaged off the cliff because he was trying to not lose to me in a duel. And I forgot, it might have been Ventrilo at the time. I forgot which, or it might have been Skype. I don't remember which one we used at the time. And he was saying, "Oh, disengage, disengage, disengage," and suddenly he has died. Oh, that was fucking beautiful. I couldn't stop pissing myself laughing. And in that very same place, this is back in the early TBC days, where he tried to be a smart, and on top of he didn't want to wait for the elevator to come back, so he jumped off on his paladin, and he bubbled straight away. His bubble wore off before he hit the ground. So I just sort of thought, no, no, no. I just saw this big blood elf just come down and oh, dead. Oh, I fucking loved it. I just missed those moments. So, go forward a little bit. We eventually reached level 70, and we started raiding in Karazhan. He was the Holy Paladin, I was an Enhancement Shaman. And then, after that raiding night, he didn't come back online again. I don't think I've ever really said, but I was actually really upset he didn't come back online. You know, when your friend just suddenly stops playing like that. The thing is, we still went to college and saw him every day, but he just didn't want to play anymore. It's just like, I was left on my own. So, what did I do? I decided to make my own Blood Elf Paladin and go through the Paladin experience. And that is this Paladin today. He was a Blood Elf though. I started out as a Blood Elf Paladin. And honestly, that was one hell of a journey. It was just me this time. I went through Azeroth alone. But because I was alone though, I was able to do more of the things I normally do. Like, I was exploring so much. I explored so much back in the day. It was one hell of a journey. Because what I like to do is, I like to explore the game like I would do in real life. Yeah, you could say this is the story of me. I just remember doing. I used to do a lot of tanking as well. I was a tank back then. I just naturally found tanking dead easy. I mean, it was easy to do as a paladin. You just drop your consecration and that's it. But yeah. Oh, it was a good time, dude. Fucking hell. The only thing that really suffered in my life was my social life. Yeah, pretty much. It was just a social life. Oh, dude, you're not missing much from me back then. When I was a teenager, I was just a moron, like most people are. The thing is, when I was 15, I had my very first girlfriend. And I did kind of went out with a couple of girls in college, but because I spent so much time on the internet, I kind of lost my social skills a little bit. I actually was not good at talking anymore because I spent all my time typing at people and not actually talking to people. It wasn't till maybe a year or two later that I really become aware of how bad my talking skills had become then. That's when I started struggling to get a girlfriend and things like that. Oh yeah, just to be clear, I am 34. So that was 18 years ago. You know, I'm a completely different person now. Ugh. I mean, the only thing I would change from my WoW days is not losing my social skills, really. But if I were to go back in time, I would still play WoW and do it all over again. I would not change that. Absolutely not change a thing about it. I'd play WoW and I would still do exactly what I did back then. Playing WoW was one hell of an experience. One hell of an experience. Nothing has ever topped that experience. Hmm. Yes, I mean, I did allow WoW to damage me in some ways. I think the one thing that did screw me up was the weight gain. Because all I would ever do was just sit on my ass really and not do anything. So I did gain a bit of weight. But now I don't have any of it. Oh no, I wouldn't want to be like that. Um, the highest weight I ever was back then, I think I was 21 and a half stone or 22 stone, which in pounds is basically 300 pounds. So I was kind of a heavy lad. But because of the things I ate, I developed quite an addiction to food. But anytime I tried to eat less, it was always a massive struggle. Because my body would always challenge me to keep eating shit, because it's what we need. I tried to use WoW so many times as a distraction as well, but never quite worked out that way. Yeah, I mean, I weigh like 13 and a half stone these days, maybe 14 stone. But I also weigh, I have a lot of muscle on me. So I'm not. I think the last time I measured my actual body fat, it was like 12%, 11% or something. That's something that I've always liked as a kid as well. That was kind of similar to my appeal to WoW, growing stronger. Because as a kid, I actually admired strength, and I used to work out a little bit too. But yeah, I played WoW pretty religiously up until about Mr. Pandaria. And by religiously, I mean I did all the raids, all the people. Well, not all the PvP, but I would play this game every day almost without fail back then. It wasn't until when Mr. Pandaria hit did I start changing my attitude towards the game. Because I didn't like Mr. Pandaria. I thought it was just stupid. Didn't really like any of the content. I mean, I did like the final patch, the Isle of what's it called? Timeless Isle. That was great. The rest was just shit. Then what happened? I have seen a lot in this game, and I have loved it, apart from Miss. Miss was the only real expansion I just didn't like whatsoever. The rest I could tolerate. What would be your advice for people trying to lose weight? Well, it's difficult for one. The thing is, I allowed this to happen. I think that's something you've got to acknowledge that it's your fault. Because it is. I did it to myself. I played WoW all day and ate so much food. So it's all on me. It is all on me. No one else. Wait, do we have all this? You've got to accept fault. But you know, it damaged me more than I'm letting on. Because of my inexperience, should we say, I was basically an incel in a way. But also not an incel. Because I had been with a woman and I've had sex before, but because of WoW, I couldn't ever get a girlfriend because I just lost all of my social skills. Pretty much. And even though on occasions I did try and get a girl, I was just completely unsuccessful. I had no chance. And putting on the weight didn't help too. But I do want to point out, it wasn't because of the way I couldn't get a girlfriend. It was because of how I acted and my awkward body language and awkward way of speaking. So when I was about 20-ish, 21, that's when Mr. Pandaria came out and I started playing WoW as much. And that's when I started to start to fix who I was. Over time, I started losing weight, and I started to start talking better because I was out more and actually had a small little job where I had to talk to people. So I found that my social skills started coming back, and I actually got really skinny. Like I started going to a gym, and I used to run on a treadmill for like an hour a day. But I didn't realize how skinny I was until someone pointed it out. They just said, "Lawrence, you've lost so much weight." And you know, you just don't notice. I don't know, I just didn't notice. And then I looked in the mirror, I was like, holy shit. Because back in the day, the thoughts I had in my brain when it comes to women and my appearance, oh my god, was it shocking. I used to actually think there was something genetically wrong with me, and then women could never find me attractive no matter what, and I would be forever alone. That's how stupid I was. It was nothing, and deep down, it was nothing like that. Yep. You didn't know me back then, dude. Believe me, it wasn't pretty to be me back then. I was just a dumbass. So how did I sort myself out? Well, like I said, there just came a point in my life where I just thought, I can't keep going on like this. I need to work on myself. Because there's no magic fix for these kind of things. You have to take the steps to fix yourself. Because no one else is going to do it for you. There are no shortcuts. Once you realize that, and then you realize you've got to put in the effort, that's when you can actually start making progress. And it's not a quick fix. It's not going to change overnight or a week later. It's going to take months. It might even take a year. I think for me it took probably a couple of years. Because what happened is, okay, I got thin. But then came the transition into, okay, I'm now thin, but my mind hasn't quite come round yet. I still have these thoughts in my mind that I'm a fat bastard and no girl will ever like me. And believe me, dude, as you're probably aware, that could be far from the truth. I know some guys would say it's because of my looker, but I don't think that way. Because of what I've been through, because I had a lot of... It's hard to go into full details, but basically when I was big, I was at my lowest. Because I need to give some more context behind the story here. Between the ages of 16 to 21, I was a fat bastard with no social skills. When I was 21 to 24, I fixed my weight and my social skills started getting better. So I started having more success with women. But something happened at 24 which made me start getting depressed. I wasn't really aware of it. So I started gaining all my weight back again because I was pigging out. And that went on for a few years until I was like 27, 28. And I felt so low of everything that was going on in my life. I thought, I have no career, I have no woman, I have nothing. I have nothing at all. But I was 22 stone and just getting worse. There came a point in my life where I thought, if I don't do something now, I'll never be able to fix this. And then I managed to get back on a diet. I started working out. I managed to remove 140 pounds. Yeah, just to clarify, when I said I was 21 and a half stone to 22 stone, that is when I was 27-ish, the age of 27. When I was in college and I gained weight, I think the highest I was about 180. No, sorry, 210, maybe 20 pounds. Something like that. It's hard to remember sometimes. Because it was such a bad time in my life, I try to forget it sometimes. But yeah. So I dropped 10 stone in a year, or 140 pounds. 10 or 9 stone, it was one of those. So I got Finn. I mean, I was a little bit depressed when I was in college and I was that weight, but not as low as I felt when I was 28 and 27 and I let it happen again. I felt far worse that time. I felt really bad. I couldn't describe how bad I felt. And I knew it was all my fault. I allowed it to happen again. So now, I went on a diet. I lost all that weight in a year. So, I'm thin again, but the damage that being overweight did to me was still there. It was still left behind. So I had to spend all that time fixing myself. Losing the weight was just one step. I had to fix my mental health and the way I thought about things. And I think after like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, I think about more like a year and a half, my mind started returning to normal. I started having more healthy thoughts. I mean, I had healthy thoughts anyway after like half a year after I got thin, but it wasn't perfect. It wasn't in a really acceptable place. And then I thought I should just start doing what I used to do when I was 21 too. Because when I was 21, I used to go to the gym all the time, and I used to lift weights. So I started lifting weights again, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made to do that again. Lifting weights just helped my mental so much. I find it really hard now to go back to a world where I eat shit all the time and play games all day. I might play games all day, but I won't eat shit all day. On occasion, I might do it. You know, you might just have like a pig out day. But when I do that, I feel terrible. Just like I did back then. It's like a reminder. But now, after... And my friends did help too. Speaking to my friends and hanging out with them definitely did help. Because the friends I played WoW with, I still hang out with them today. We've been best friends for 18 years. And we still hang out. We're best friends for life. But you know, the things that I went through in those 18 years, it's not just weight, but life as well. It's really shaped me into someone. I've seen some true evil out there. And it's just so disturbing what the world can be like sometimes. But either way, I can confidently say now that I am a perfectly happy and healthy man at the age of 34. I've been quite healthy for a couple of years now. There are some things that haven't really changed. For example, I think this is a good thing personally, but I don't view myself as an attractive man despite the attention I get from women now. Because I have a pretty good body, I mean, I've got pretty big arms and a pretty big chest because of my training. women do notice me quite a bit. I've actually been hit on quite a bit by women over the years. Some of them tell me I've got like a lovely face and all that shit, that I'm very attractive, but it's like, I don't really process it, and what I mean by that is, because I convinced myself I was never attractive or never would be attractive, I don't really acknowledge it. I don't really think, oh wow, I must be a hot piece of ass then. I'm just like, okay. I mean, if someone said it to me, I'll just say, oh thanks, but it won't go to my head or anything like that. You know, when you go from being obese and never being looked at by women to, I mean, what happens to me at work sometimes? Women will just keep grabbing my arms. One woman has touched my face at random. I do get hit on by girls when I'm out sometimes in a pub or in a club. I will just get women trying to talk to me. Some of them wave at me. But, you know, it's just... And since I'm not always there with a woman, they assume I'm there as a single man. No, I am kind of involved with a woman. So I'm not really interested in sleeping around. I know some guys out there like to sleep around, but personally, not me. It's not worth the hassle. It really isn't. So for me to go from that life I had before to this is such a massive change. I just don't know how to deal with it sometimes. When I speak to women, I just speak in I'm just confident by just naturally. I don't think about it. I just speak. Yeah, man. It's amazing what's happened to me in a few years. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but I went from a guy basically never getting any action whatsoever to, well, what I have now. Dude, your Discord messages are so stupid. Hell yeah, brother. It's never too late to change your life. Never too late to change your life. I'm glad I did it for me. Why do I have such little HP all of a sudden? Giant pattern. Oh, we still got some more to go. But yeah, there's your 4 AM storytelling. The story how I was basically an incel, and now I'm a Chad. In a nutshell. Although I hate the word Chad. Nah, man. Guys just need to believe in themselves. Trust me, it's never been about looks. Guys don't need looks to get girls. They don't. I've seen it so many times. Look, if you're a guy out there and you think you're ugly, you maybe you consider yourself an incel, you're a virgin, I don't know. and you want some genuine advice on how to go by getting someone, my advice to you, as someone who's done this themselves, is focus on improving yourself, improving your image. Do something that helps you. Maybe you want to look better, maybe you want to go to a gym, maybe you just suck at talking to girls. I don't know. If you just suck at talking to girls, then what I suggest is that you throw yourself in the deep end and just start talking to girls. They are human just like you. It may not seem that way, but believe me, they are human just like you. You're going to have to fail a few times before you get the experience and feel more confident just speaking to women. There's so many things I could say, really. But you just need to believe in yourself. I see so many guys at work, not so many, but there's a couple of guys at work who they come across as very unconfident and they just do not believe in themselves. And that is just a complete unattractive quality. Even as a guy, if I saw a girl act like that, she would go from, let's say, a 9 to a 6 very quickly. It is not attractive to speak to someone who's so negative and has no confidence in themselves, even as a guy. Random 4 AM talks. Maybe these guys just need therapy. Maybe something happened to them and, you know. There's so many things it could be. Basically, in a nutshell, I worked out, I improved my talking skills, my conversation skills, and it turned me, by doing this, I went from a socially awkward kid to a more confident man. The problem was never my looks, it was me and how I presented myself and how I came across. And I see this so many times in other guys too. If you are young, then this might just be the fix. And the thing is, most teenagers will grow out of this. Because it is something that you gain over time. When I was 21 or 24, I didn't have any issues at all. Because that was kind of, I wouldn't say my prime, but that was when I was at university. So during those years, I just kind of grew out of it. But the second time, like I said, when I was 27, 28, that was a result of, well, depression, really. I had to fix myself. But no, if you are like 16 to 21, 16 to 24, you'll grow out of it over time with experience. Especially when you have your first girlfriend or two. You cannot be scared of rejection. Because let me tell you something, you are going to get rejected. You might as well just deal with it. if you don't learn how to deal with rejection now, then I don't know. It's just one of those things as a guy you just got to experience. I've been rejected before. It did suck. It really sucked. You know, you really like this girl, but she doesn't like you. And then you'll look for many reasons to why she doesn't like you, but you might just not find you attractive. You might just not like this about you. I need to stress, not every girl will find you attractive. She might find you attractive, but she might just find your personality a bit off-putting, and that's just how it is. I'm the same way with women. I can be attracted to a woman physically, but if she's a complete and utter cow, then I'm suddenly not interested anymore. Or if she has some really disgusting habits, then no. I think League of Legends is probably the worst place for people with mental health issues. There's a lot of League players who have absolutely terrible mental health. Dude, the reason why the incel thing bothers me so much is not because of my experience as an incel per se, although technically I was an incel because I've actually been with women before then. There's so many of it these days. There's so much of it. Guys are just so lonely. But when I look at them, there's nothing wrong with them physically. In fact, some of these guys are actually pretty good looking guys. It's just who they are, it's just their personality. They need to work on a few things. I think for some guys, they will just naturally get the experience over time to speak to girls, like most guys do, and they'll have no problems. But there are a select bunch who, even when they reach 35 or something, will still be virgins, and they'll hate women or something like that, and it's nothing to do with them. It's you. The second they understand it's them, and stop looking for excuses, that's when they can start actually making progress. It wasn't because of women I had no success with them during that time in my life. It was me. Anyway, that's my 4 AM talk. A bit about me, and what some guys can do if they feel like they have no success with women. I mean, everyone's got their own problems when it comes to attracting women when it comes to men, but from personal experience of watching other guys, usually it's because they do something weird. And let me tell you something, if you do something really weird to a woman, they will definitely put some distance between you. Because you've got to remember that the average woman probably gets bothered by men almost every, well, I would say almost every day, but quite consistently. You got creepy guys doing weird shit to them all the time. So when you think about it as a guy, it's actually really easy for you to stand out if you don't be a weirdo. But that's probably another conversation for another day, to be honest. You know, don't give them weird looks. Don't stare at them. I could go on. Yeah, there we go. There's your 4 AM talk, dude. Ah, yes. I even taught you how to get a woman. And now look at you, you've got a woman. What did you say? My advice was amazing? Yeah, I worked with you. There was nothing wrong with your looks. You were just a bit weird sometimes, you know, no offense. You were just a bit weird sometimes. And you didn't always come across as very confident either. Sorry, dude. Yeah, you fucking know. Yeah, you know. You admit you were not perfect, you were a bit weird. I taught you a few things. How many girls do I think fancy me at work? How the fuck would I know, dude? The other thing I could tell you is how many girls have actually done something to me that's a bit weird. So I've got one woman who said you're quite a catch. I've had one man who likes to feel up my arms and shoulders. I have one woman who definitely gives me quite a seductive look in the morning sometimes. I know she's single and she's pointed out to me she's single. But she's like in her 50s. Who else? Honestly, I don't even remember at this point. I am pretty knackered. Besides, let's not talk about this. Because it would sound like I'm bragging or something like that, dude. Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up, dude. I'm gonna respond to that. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I think time's up. I might upload this particular bit. Why not? If you really want it. TJ.